They freaking did it. The Chicago Bears won their first game in 346 days on the road against the Washington Commanders in Week 5 of the 2023 NFL season. DJ Moore had a career day. Justin Fields throws for 4 touchdowns in back-to-back games, and this Bears defense was feasting. We're back, baby. Hello, everyone. Back to this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Nick Rhodey. I cannot be more happy right now. DJ Moore scored not 1, not 2, but 3 touchdown passes in Chicago's magical win. There was a roller coaster of emotions during this game. There's no denial of it. Washington kept creeping back into that third quarter, but the Bears shut the door on the fourth quarter. I'm going to go into all the highlights of the game and who had the biggest impact. But before I begin, please like this video if you're happy about the Bears win. Put your thoughts in the comment section below or just a Bears down. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. So let's start with the offense. Justin Fields is the man, and I still stand with him. Like I said earlier, this was his second in a row game of 4 TD passes. He connected with DJ Moore 3 times in this game and Cole Kmet 1 time. 15 of 29, 283 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and a 125.3 QBR. Let's go, baby. Along with that, 11 rushes for 57 yards. Caleb Williams, who? In all fairness, Luke Getsy, what a turnaround. Dude said this offense would get it going, and it sure has. 68 points over the last 2 games. This has been led by a lot of different types of plays by Justin Fields and his weapons. More rollouts, more deep throws, like a lot of deep throws, less screens all the time, using them more when needed, like 3rd and long. But wow, this offense is cooking. Fields now has 11 touchdowns on the season, 8 coming in the last 2 games, and 5 interceptions, along with 1,143 passing yards so far. And a lot of that is thanks to, you guessed it, DJ freaking Moore. He now owns the number 2 single season game in Chicago Bears history with 238 receiving yards in 1 game off 8 receptions. That is a 28.8 average per catch. He's making unreal catches all game long. Touchdown after touchdown, it felt like, and he has been worth every single penny. Speaking of people worth every single penny, Kmet is a $50 million man and has 3 touchdowns in his last 2 games for Chicago. He has been used effectively as a blocker and as a receiver in both sides of the game. He is fighting for yards constantly, and this is what this team absolutely needed for energy in life, and he keeps the chains moving forward, and that is something I'm very happy with Cole Kmet. So let's go to the running back room. Just so you know, all 3 active running backs for this game ended up out. So Kareem Blasingame, fullback for the Chicago Bears, had to step in, and it freaking worked. Khalil Herbert, though, while in, had himself a hell of a game. 10 rushes, 76 yards for 7.6 yards per rush. Shout out to the offensive line. We'll get to that in a second. Herbert did go out with a nasty ankle injury, hoping for a speedy recovery and that he's back in 10 days. Rashawn Johnson also had a nice game, but was out with a concussion, wishing him a speedy recovery. 3 rushes for 19 yards with 6.3 yards per carry. Now the offensive line. Tevin Jenkins was back in the rotation today with limited reps. Looked great out there, by the way. Nate Davis, Larry Borum, Darnell Wright, Cody Whitehair, and a little bit of Lucas Patrick, who also went out with an injury, only allowed 3 sacks on the day against a tough Washington Commander defensive line. And also, Darnell Wright was pancaking people. What a day by the offense. Could not be happier for them. 40 freaking points, guys. 68 points in 2 games. We're freaking back. Let's go over to the defense real quick. Keep in mind there was 2 practice squad guys in the defensive secondary, one of them being Greg Stroman Jr. And he had a game. First of all, it started with a big interception. Then he helped Terrell Smith with a fumble. And he had a stat line of 7 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 1 quarterback hit, 1 interception, and 1 sack. What more do you want from this guy? The door opened up for him and he ran right through it. And that's exactly what the Bears needed. Eberflus's defense overall looked much better than Allen Williams as well. Terrell Smith, the rookie from Minnesota, with 6 tackles and 1 forced fumble. Tyreek Stevenson with 9 tackles, 1 pass deflection, and a fumble recovery. Jaquan Brisker with 6 tackles. Going over to the linebacker room real quick, Tremaine Edmonds did have himself kind of a rough day, got burnt a little bit in the open field, but still had 9 tackles. TJ Edwards with another day, man. 10 tackles, 1 sack, and 1 quarterback hit. And the defensive line. 5 sacks on tonight. They only had 3 entering tonight's game against a respected Washington Commanders offensive line. Greg Stroman Jr. had 1 of the sacks. Yannick Ngakoue Ngakoue had one of the sacks along with a tackle for loss. Rasheem Green, along with his sack, had a quarterback hit. DeMarcus Walker with a sack, 2 tackles for loss, and 2 quarterbacks hits. TJ Edwards, obviously, with the other sack. And Andrew Billings, man, he is just making opportunities for everyone. What a game. 40-20. Bears win. Bears are back. 10 days off before Minnesota in week 6. We're going to have all the Bears news leading up to that game, so you make sure you stay tuned in. But with that, thank you very much for joining this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. Bear down, baby. The Bears are back. Bear down.